What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated two-division world champion, reigning WBC World Boxing Council middleweight world champion, superstar boxer, JERMALL Lions Only Charlo, who has 32 wins, no losses, no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 6 feet tall with a 74-inch arm reach at 32 years of age this month. With that said, JERMALL CHARLO, he reacts to four-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who's currently the reigning super middleweight, undisputed world champion, widely considered by many to be the face of the sport of boxing, top three, if not number one best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is now 57 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He is 31 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. He took on undefeated WBA light heavyweight world champion Russian superstar boxer DMITRY BIVOL, who is now 20 wins, no losses, no draw, 11 wins by way of knockout. He is 31 years of age, 6 feet tall with a 74-inch arm reach, a 72-inch arm reach, excuse me. With that said, Canelo Alvarez has dropped significantly in that pound-for-pound rankings because Canelo Alvarez was outclassed, outboxed, and dominated by DMITRY BIVOL in his second attempt to become a world champion at light heavyweight. He beat Sergey Crusher Kovalev for Sergey Kovalev's WBO title. Sergey Kovalev is a 2-3-time light heavyweight world champion. Okay, and Canelo Alvarez, he beat Sergey Kovalev for the WBO World Boxing Organization title at light heavyweight to become a 4-division world champion, okay? And he knocked out Sergey Crusher Kovalev. With that said, this was his second attempt, and he was not successful, okay? Now, he beat Sergey Kovalev back in November of 2019, and he got an 11th round stoppage victory, knockout victory, to win the WBO title, okay? DMITRY BIVOL, he absolutely outclassed Canelo Alvarez in his second attempt to become a world champion. And now Canelo Alvarez has suffered his second defeat. But not only did he suffer his second defeat, Canelo Alvarez was outclassed and won a maximum of 3 rounds against DMITRY BIVOL. This is reminiscent of his September 2013 showdown with Floyd Mayweather, where he was badly outclassed by Floyd Mayweather. And somehow the judges in a fight that Canelo Alvarez didn't even win 1 round, maybe the 12th round, where Floyd Mayweather decided to put it on cruise control because he knew he had it in the bag. One of the judges actually saw this fight a draw, okay, to say the least, which saw Canelo Alvarez, get a majority, Floyd Mayweather get a majority decision victory, okay? So CJ Ross scored the fight 114-114. The other judges scored it, Craig Metcalf, he scored it 117-111. Dave Moretti scored it 116-112. And CJ Ross scored it a draw. So we know what that was about. Here we have another fight where Canelo Alvarez, was getting outclassed. And against Floyd Mayweather, he didn't even win 1 round. Against DMITRY BIVOL last night, he possibly won 2 to 3 rounds, okay? At best, okay? And so with that said, JERMALL CHARLO, he was initially pegged as the front runner to land the fight with Canelo Alvarez for this past Saturday, okay? JERMALL CHARLO has been seeking out a fight with Canelo Alvarez for quite some time. JERMALL CHARLO was actually Canelo Alvarez's WBC mandatory challenger at middleweight, but Canelo Alvarez and the WBC president, Mauricio Sulaiman, board of 32 members, decided to come up with a plan and create a franchise title, okay, in which Canelo Alvarez didn't have to honor his mandatories. JERMALL CHARLO was elevated to the WBC champion. So JERMALL CHARLO at 154, when he was the champion, was looking to face off against Canelo at 154, and he was unable to secure the fight. And he was the mandatory at 160. He was unable to secure the fight. Now it seems like talks were in advanced stages for Canelo Alvarez to face JERMALL CHARLO this past Saturday. So instead of DMITRY BIVOL, it would have been JERMALL CHARLO. Now it was reported that he was offered $45 million to fight JERMALL CHARLO, $55 million in the second fight, possibly against undefeated, newly crowned 3-belt unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer who is widely considered by many to be top 3 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and Errol Spence Jr., or undefeated 2-time WBC super middleweight world champion Mexican superstar boxer David Benavidez, okay? So he could have possibly faced off against David Benavidez or Errol Spence in the second fight. So they wanted a 2-fight deal with the PBC Premier Boxing Champion, founder and advisor Al Heyman, TGB Promotions, Tom Brown Promotions, Showtime, and Showtime Pay-Per-View, Steven Espinosa, president, okay? But he turned it down. And Canelo Alvarez, he stated that and admitted that the fight was on the table, but he turned it down, and he said that JERMALL CHARLO needs to fight somebody. He said that JERMALL CHARLO needs to fight David Benavidez or fight Demetrius Andrade, okay? Another guy who's been vying to get an opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez, okay? And so with that said, he stated that he wanted to go the route. He saw the door open to become undisputed in the second weight class at light heavyweight, should he be victorious in just 2 fights. So if he would have beat DMITRY BIVOL this past Saturday night, Joe Smith Jr., who's the WBO light heavyweight champion, and undefeated unified light heavyweight WBC IBF world champion Russian superstar boxer Artur are going to fight June 18th, okay, in a unification bout. So all 3 belts will be on the line. Now, seeing as though Canelo Alvarez is the cash cow, he's considered the face of the sport of boxing. Everybody wants the opportunity to fight him. He's viewed as the lottery ticket. Canelo Alvarez was in position where he could have fought the winner of that fight. And should he beat DMITRY BIVOL in the winner of that fight, he'd be undisputed in under a calendar year. Again, he did so in under 10 months at super middleweight. He would have been able to do so again at light heavyweight. But Canelo Alvarez, he lost. And he lost badly, okay? So JERMALL CHARLO, he took to social media and he expressed that he can't believe that this fight went the way it went, because he was yay close to securing the fight with Canelo Alvarez. Now, obviously, JERMALL CHARLO is very confident that he could beat Canelo Alvarez, so he's very confident that he would have been able to do the same thing DMITRY BIVOL did yesterday, but unfortunately, he didn't get the opportunity. So he expressed that, you know, he's highly disappointed that he didn't get the opportunity, you know, to face off against Canelo Alvarez, because again, some of the luster for Canelo Alvarez, star status, as far as being invincible in the sport of boxing. Now, his status as a superstar outside the ring and him being a draw, I don't believe that's going to take a step back or a hit at all whatsoever. But the aura of invincibility is no longer, okay? Again, we saw him outclassed by Floyd Mayweather, losing every single round. You saw him essentially lose all but 2 to 3 rounds against DMITRY BIVOL. And he has a few other questionable wins on his resume. The fight with Erislandy Lara, just 2 fights after losing to Floyd Mayweather, he fought Alfredo Angulo, March of 2014. He brutally knocked him out in the 10th round. Then he fought Erislandy Lara in July of 2014. And many people, he got a split decision victory, but many people, including myself, felt Canelo Alvarez should not have gotten a nod. Then in September 2017, he fought unified middleweight reigning champion Gennady Triple G Golovkin. It ended in a draw, but many people thought that he lost that fight, okay? Then they had a rematch the next year, September the next year, because Canelo Alvarez was then suspended for testing positive for a banned substance clenbuterol. So in September the next year, Canelo Alvarez, he fought Triple G, and which I personally thought he won. He did win, but many people thought he lost that fight. He got a majority decision victory. So the 2 fights with Triple G, the Erislandy Lara fight, and this fight with DMITRY BIVOL and Floyd Mayweather, which he lost on paper, could very well see Canelo Alvarez with 5 losses. Okay, now he's exciting. He has power. He's still young. But at the end of the day, the aura of invincibility is gone. Okay, many people, including myself, I didn't see Canelo Alvarez. I looked at the landscape and I didn't believe there was anybody that could beat Canelo Alvarez. But DMITRY BIVOL proved me wrong, completely wrong, and he dominated Canelo Alvarez. So with that said, now JERMALL CHARLO gets the opportunity to fight against Canelo Alvarez. Still a big fight. Many people use the excuse that Canelo Alvarez was simply too small for the light heavyweight division. But you got to keep in factor in, again, like I said, he fought and beat Sergey Kovalev, okay? Sergey Kovalev, now, obviously, many people feel like Sergey Kovalev wasn't the same guy he once was, okay? But Sergey Kovalev is just as big, if not slightly bigger, than DMITRY BIVOL, okay? DMITRY BIVOL is not viewed as the biggest light heavyweight in the world. So Sergey Kovalev at 6'1" with a 73-inch arm, which is slightly bigger than DMITRY BIVOL. Maybe, you know, JERMALL CHARLO is able to secure a fight with Canelo Alvarez in his next fight at 168, because Canelo Alvarez is still an undisputed 168-pound super middleweight champion. If he's able to secure a fight with him, maybe, you know, the fact that many people look at Canelo Alvarez and say, well, he was just simply far too small. He bit off more than he could chew, moving up to light heavyweight, and it backfired on him, okay? And they give him the benefit of doubt in his fight with JERMALL CHARLO and fully credit JERMALL CHARLO for a fight with Canelo Alvarez. But at this point in time, you know, even the hardcore boxing fans and the casual fans, you can clearly see it's the style matchup, okay? He struggles with a certain style. He's not fleet-footed, okay? He's flat-footed. He puts his punches together beautifully. He combination puncher, has power on both hands. But at the end of the day, he's just not a fleet-footed fighter. And that always comes back to haunt Canelo Alvarez, because athletic fighters that are somewhat mobile or very mobile give him a hard time, okay? Triple G is not very mobile, and yet he gave him a hard time. DMITRY BIVOL was mobile enough to give him a hard time. Floyd Mayweather, Erislandy Lara were too mobile for him, and we saw the outcome. So JERMALL CHARLO, he expresses that, he can't believe, he used other words, I'm going to paraphrase, that this fight turned out in the manner it turned out, and he lost his opportunity, possibly for good, to fight Canelo Alvarez. So we got to see how that plays out and unfolds. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Bluebuzz Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Bluebuzz Sports TV, all in one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.